Memento. Just seeing where else I could be an asshole and send shit to. Something free. It's gotta be something stupid too. Yep. Sweet. Get a free emote. Thanks. Love it. So great. Super sick. I also found out in this game, if you take like pictures, it'll be put into your loading screens, which is kind of a neat feature. That's actually something I think should be implemented more low-key. The worst part is one of our friends, this British guy, bought the game because it was like super cheap, and basically made this guy look like a the nicest way to put a pedophile, like no hair except for a comb over, big nose, shit, like the worst mustache you've ever seen, that kind of thing. And it's just awful, like literally the worst I've ever seen. Like you can make your character look ugly in this game, which is fine. I try my best not to make my... I don't know where I am. With Yumi Kim. Oh, don't even reference such a horrid man, my dude. I'm not doing any of these missions because they're stupid and I hate them. Clean the workshop, go fuck yourself. Where's this? Talk to Hemlock. So off to the bat, miscellaneous missions. The one to tell me I need to do, I can't even take on or off. Great start. Where even is this? Oh. Talk to Hemlock Holes Cook. Yay. Cool. Bravey, control pests at Dully Sods. That sounds awful. All these sound so bad. You know, for a setting that's about the apocalypse, they give you some of the most mundane shit to do. Oh, we're rebuilding society. I don't know about that. Clearly it didn't work too well. At least the game's got a good color palette. That's something that's nice. There's color. I don't know how many Apocalypse games there's like either no color, they don't stylize it enough, so it's really fucking miserable, but like not in an artistically interesting way. Like Mad Max Fury Road's a great Apocalypse film. Same with the original Mad Max films. But Mad Max Fury Road really upped the color. Because, you know, it's a desert. You can't... There's not many colors you can choose from in there, but you can at least go in with the metals and, like, how, like, the yellows and tans kind of show. Like, that's neat. And same with this. There is color in the game. Right over here is not the best example, but, like, it's a nice shade of Somali rainwater. Oh. Oh, you got some good lag there. Okay. There we go. I feel like the hunting rifle is like just an integral part of it, of like every Fallout game. As it should be. Why not? I'm not complaining about really anything yet because that takes...
Smash!
Fuck. Nope. 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 Okay. Alright. I'm getting my ass kicked already. Gonna reload that while I was running. Okay, cool. Just not even, like, even trying to aim. It's not even a point. Yeah, it was nice and simple for a moment. It was nice. It was great. It was cool. Sick. Just I'm not like a lore whore or anything. Like I can understand you need sometimes to change stuff, especially when it's not your original content. And then 76, they just didn't give a fuck. Like, Fallout 3 kind of made sense that they would kind of like mosey on over east and like, I don't know how the fuck they'd figure out how to, engineer it logically, but you say a bunch of them kind of went east and a lot of the dumber ones did. Oh no. Maybe they all got brain damage over time from just, getting their shit rocked. Oh, there's a robot. I hate robots so much.
Oh, I need you to do something very important for me. It's a matter of life and death.
Yep.
My diagnostics may just be...
Can't kill him.
Dreadfully worried I may self-destruct. Look, you can repair me. I know you can save me.
Can I get money now, please? You.
I no longer feel the impending doom of self-destruction lingering over me, thanks to you. Please, accept this as a reward.
Okay. Daddy, please, I need a repair. Cover me in marmalade. And it's like, I'm not an expert in a lot of things. Oh, wait, back to that color thing. Look how pretty that is. Okay, done. Like, all the roads are all fucked up, but no nukes hit West Virginia. And I get the logic of, tactically speaking, it may not be a major target, but there's a shit ton of missile silos here, which kind of undoes the whole point, because even Russia knew, like, where most of the missile silos are, the ICBM, like, missile silos, during the Cold War. They knew, like, about, like, I don't remember the, like, statistic, but it was, like, a ridiculous number. More than one should think they would know of. Oh, more lag there. Great. Thank you. I don't usually lose my mind until about, like, 30 minutes in, when, like, there's, like, a small mission you have to do. There's one where it's, like, you had to go to find the cave, so you have to go to, like, to the mole miners, like, place. Oh yeah, no, Far Cry New Dawn looked... It was actually starting popping around. No, New Dawn was really nice, because it was like... It kind of went with that weird, like, early 2000s thing that was a big thing for a while, where it was just like the weird 90s punk, but with a lot more color. I thought that was pretty neat. I didn't end up really playing the game, just because Far Cry 5 I played, and I have like not a great connection to it at this point, due to past relationship, gay enough. Sadly they were not a dude, so that joke doesn't work as well. But New Dawn looked really cool in the sense of like, just the color choices. Because sometimes a dull colored game can kind of make sense. Like Last of Us isn't like super colorful or super dull. It's kind of just photorealistically colored, with a few exceptions of like certain pieces of things you need to pick up that are yellow. What an asshole! Thing is fucking stupid ass gun.
Hey folks, it's your favorite tour guide, Dick Shale.
Appalachia has several historical landmarks worth visiting while you're in the area. Today, I'd like to tell you about Philippi's Battlefield Cemetery, where the first land battle of the Civil War took place. Learn more about this important chapter in Appalachian history when West Virginia was still a part of Virginia. Make sure to stop by the museum to see all the authentic uniforms, weapons, and equipment actually used in the Civil War. We'll see you there.
Appalachia or Appalachia? Appalachia. It's really Appalachia or I don't know. See, I'm in the state that still has the Appalachian Mountains, which I've hiked on. I used to do like almost like every 2 weeks. Sorry, getting a text. So sorry. Okay, so those NPCs were added recently. Thank God. I'm gonna be angry about that in a moment.
Now that people have come back to this area, they'll all want to be setting up places like Foundation.
And Bethesda needs to realize that people don't just say shit like this.
Hey, got any chems? I just don't feel right without my medicine. If I just had my Calmex, I could focus and stop fretting about the little things.
I'm getting Mentats because I can do without them.
That's not what I'm looking for, but it'll take my mind off things.
Yeah, that's fair.
You can have this.
I got Syringer amp. Thanks. Can I kill you?
Some trees are better for firewood. Others, better for building you a strong home.
God, you move so much. Damn it. Guys. Alright, well, excuse me. Just cut you into bits.
Damn it!
Fuck you.
Let's do this!
I know, I got brass knuckles. What am I doing? Yeah, come on. Bitch. Yeah, usually don't just kill random NPCs, but we don't need a drug addict in our new society. We do, but not for chopping wood. His redemption arc is not valid to me, I'll say it. But I think, I mean, obviously Bethesda did this for, quick money gains. That's obvious. But another thing of not having the NPCs, they made all these factions that people could roleplay as, which in itself is a pretty, neat idea conceptually. But if you don't have private servers, that can kind of go haywire very quickly. Because what's there to say that I'm not going to just take a bunch of power armor and say I'm, king shit of the fucking server that I want to go to Beyond for till I get off. If they had private servers, I think that point would have made more sense, because they have the free states, which is basically morally correct because they suggest that the government's bad and evil, which they are in this game, let alone in real life. But they're like hoarders and doomsday preppers, which yet again is very valid in this setting, beyond valid. Literally, they were right. They were right completely. And then you have the responders, which are basically paramedics, firemen, and police that were trying to help people out. Which, no mention of the National Guard, really. Which, of all things, you'd think would be in a very large number in this setting. Like, you see the occasional army guy, but there's no, National Guard, faction, which would make a lot more sense considering how many have been mobilized right before everything happened. And how many bases there probably would be, because the United States in this game literally fucking annexed Canada and owned most of Mexico. Or if they didn't own it, they were pretty much part of it near the end because of the oil and shit. I mean, there's obvious. It's all over. I don't have to worry about monetization, so that stays on. But God, jeez, I already forgot what I was saying. The factions are conceptually interesting. Actually, they're not really interesting conceptually, but they're good for basic roleplay factions. You have the boring, fucking good guys that have nothing interesting going on. which are the responders. They're just goody two-shoes. There's nothing interesting to be said about them. They're just cops, firemen, paramedics, and they have a noble goal. Then there's the raiders, which in this, when they finally added like NPCs, thank God, thank you guys for doing the bare minimum. They added raiders of several groups. You have like the pussy raiders that were like you can talk elves, and the other ones are just like assholes. And some of them are like ex-cons, and the other ones.
This is Grafton's mayor speaking to everyone in the valley. It's Grafton Day. We are celebrating our town and its beloved mascot, the Grafton Monster. He may look scary, but I assure you his robot handlers have him completely under control. Come, join the parade, spend your money, and make sure to donate to my re-election campaign.
Oh. They went a lot onto the cryptids too, which is... The fuck is that? They focus a lot on the cryptids, which, I mean... Fair enough, I guess. Oh, shotgun ammo. Is there a shotgun? No, why would there be? Oh. Dude, this is like a level 5 and completely fucking useless. Yeah. Like you have the Grafton Monster, you have Mothman, you have a bunch of other ones I can't think off the top of my head. But they really focused on, I mean they have Wendigos, which somewhere in Tumblr someone said something about like it being really insensitive because it's Native American culture. I know nothing about it. I know it's like something about the soul being all fucked up and they eat human beings and shit. But like if you eat a human being in like times of hardship, like you become a Wendigo. Oh good. Oh good. Goody. Goody. Great. God, fuck off. So gross. I like how radiation just means 2 heads, more eyes. It's never just like, yeah, this thing has debilitating cancer and like is a barely functional animal. Please don't start the audio log again. Fuck.
With a priority message.
Oh, okay.
It's Grafton Day. Again. The Grafton Monster and his robot handlers are on parade. Friends, everyone loves the parade. Well, not the Grafton Monster. He gets grumpy.
Okay, that's
why
fine.
he has handlers.
Oh, God. Yep. Oh, what a shocker. Yep, it totally got loose. Who would have thought? Not me. Nope. Not me at all. If I take drugs, I'll be better at this game. In-game, of course. Where'd it go? We're this gigantic fucking 2-story piece of shit. Oh. This part is... It's got no fucking head, really. It's just... anabolic steroids gone wrong. Let's shoot him right in his butt. Thick, juicy cheek, man. Hello? Hello? I don't even want to know the lore for how this thing comes to be, because it's gotta be fucking stupid as shit. This shoots like... oil? Yep. Uncorrected blight. Cool. Sick. Dense. So fun. So great. What'd I get? Cool. I don't know what the fuck any of this is. A gun that gives you stage 5 fucking... Oh! Oh! 25. Can't use it. Thanks. There's nothing smarter than making all your weapons leveled as an excuse to you have to constantly scrap and upgrade your weapons more. Possibly meaning you may have to use the atomic shop to get like scrap part kits and so on and so forth. Great business model, guys. Totally, totally great. You know, I thought, man, what would make the experience of the Apocalypse better? It's making a leveling system for firearms, which makes no fucking sense. Like, yeah, you could at least logically say, if you're like a level whatever, you're not probably going to be too good at using a rocket launcher. But you know, that's a bad point, because rocket launchers are easy to use, actually. At least loading them feasibly. Especially the ones they have in this game. It's really just like, you just muzzle load it. You do it till it makes a click sound, and then pull the trigger, turn the safety off. A fucking brain damaged chimp could probably figure it out. Wow, not listening to that. Like, think of some of the other games, like, you had to have your gun skills up a certain level to be really good at firearms. That makes sense. You know, roleplay-wise it makes sense, character-wise it makes sense. And logically, like, yeah, like, anyone could pick up, like, most guns and, like, at least fire it. Or at least know the basics of racking the slide or the receiver or what have you. And fire. Feasibly, that's a very easy thing for most people to understand. You know. But being good at it, being able to maintain it, for it to not break down as quick, for you to load it faster and better, for it to not jam as much. Okay, that makes sense. But the level cap, or for instance, you can find the pump shotgun at level 5, or you can find one at like 30. But you can't use level 30 because fuck you. Because this one has more damage and that's unfair in the game scheme of things. But makes no fucking sense. And it's beyond it's beyond fucking annoying to just simply have to deal with that. Oh, fucking hate robots so much. There's not a single game I think that's made me enjoy robots conceptually. And here they're at least very aesthetic to like the 50s kind of look. Because iBot is, I think, is like just a complete like remake of like the Sputnik or one of the Russian like probe robot things they send in space. And there's one that's like from some space movie from the 50s. They actually had the guy on an airplane who was a lead in it. They used that robot. Man. Oh boy. I like how propane tank is like a helmet for these guys. Every once in a while, I gotta give credit to this game. You can't just completely be like everything sucks, or else I wouldn't be playing it.
No fight today.
No fight today. Can't do this voice. I don't have the testosterone maxed out in my life by taking anabolic steroids to no end. I always just wonder. I know 25 years is a long time for you know, vegetation and stuff to kind of go bad, but how does 25 years where no nuclear missiles even hit this area, that like everything just looks, I mean, I guess in this situation they're near like whatever bad shitty water and they have that big crafted monster shoots oil, but I mean, no cars work at all, can't fix them up. All the streets are like ripped up to shit, and yeah, roads get bad, but they're usually still got like, they got like potholes and like cracking, not like the whole thing's fucking ripped up, especially on like a highway where there's not as many trees like lingering out. God, where is this guy? He's on the roof. Oh. No drugs in their hands, shit. This fucking place is lame as hell. Where's the stairs in this bitch? I have to take the ladder outside. Oh, wait. Hey, classroom that has 9 seats. That's nice. I'd love to be in a classroom that wasn't filled with like 30, 40 people. Send your kids to a school that is not fucking overpopulated. Seriously. The learning experience is like 10 times better. Oh, Jesus. I'm just gonna beat the shit out of him. A little bit of parkour. Fuck you.
Let's get closer!
The amount of unnecessary damage you get, you beat the shit out of people because, you know, you're not far away and shit. It's not great. Oh, good. Thankfully, he lets me take the time to get Ray. Great AI writing. Amazing AI writing. Just great. Thank you. And Tats. I'm not a expert on coding in any way, shape, or form. That's the last thing I would ever suggest I am. And a lot of, oh shit, I just took a drug shit. But a lot of AI is written very, not poorly, but there's a lot of weird things you have to do where like AI actually knows where you are the entire time, but they have to pretty much ignore your existence until like a certain amount of factors occur. Because if they don't know where you are, like a bunch of shit just gets even worse. So fair enough. But AI is usually written pretty simple because the more complicated it is, it takes up a lot of memory. Like the first Last of Us was supposed to have a lot more complicated AI, or it's supposed to at least communicate to each other more in-game, for example. And it reduced quite heavily because I think it just took up too much space. And they didn't want to drop, obviously, any plot points or cutscenes or a lot of the actual features of the game. So they just simplified the AI of human enemies to a point where they still would communicate, they still recognize if you had like an empty magazine on occasions or if you're, you know, using a hostage. But the flanking and stuff, it wasn't really as often. They weren't as tactically competent. Like until you like, you know, click the fucking empty gun like a handful of times, they may not recognize. Gold plate glass jam. There's just certain things AI just couldn't do that they were shown in like the original trailers that they showed off. Well, it's just the new one. Part of me feels like it might actually legitimately just be garbage, or you know, when you plot summarize anything, it can look pretty bad. And conceptually, I see what they're trying to do, and I can see it as being pretty interesting. But at the same time, they went through people. They like did the fucking like whole thing where they showed people like a narrative, and like kind of like tested out, like test the water, seeing if it was good or not. And personally, I don't know, man. I think that's usually like that can be helpful, but you should not be beholden to a bunch of random assholes you took in for an opinion. Like there should be something that you kind of like. That's something we can go with. We can take their suggestions. You don't have to take their suggestions. You know, they're not fucking script writers, you know? Some of the best scripts are ones that, like, a lot of people hated. Like, Full Metal Jacket, you know, a lot of people probably didn't like in the test screenings, especially the ending. It's fucked up. But still one of the best movies. out there, especially anti-war film. Even though a lot of idiots think it's a pro-war film, a lot of people join the Marines after that because of it. I gotta say, kind of stupid. It's like Starship Troopers. This is ridiculous, man. Man, I fucking hate those. Enemy types. You know what? Enemy types is a good thing to talk about. They're just mostly awful because they're not interesting to fight, really. Because raiders, almost all the enemy types in Fallout, at least with like in New Vegas, they at least had interesting factions. So fighting different factions felt like awesome. Like fighting Caesar's Legion is fun because fuck Caesar, you know, that's, you know, enough said. But in this, it's like fight crazy mutated animal with extra eyes or heads because that happens. And they're just either going to do range attacks that are extremely annoying or melee attacks that are extremely annoying. Then you have the Scorched, which are basically the replacement for human AI, which are basically ghouls with an interesting concept, kind of, that use melee weapons and guns. Not very interesting to fight. You have ghouls, which will run up and hit you, and then stagger you, which makes it harder to fight them, which is very fucking annoying. They usually fight in packs. So what do you use? A shotgun or an automatic weapon. Or you take them from a range. The tactic to fighting them is just like most games don't really make their enemies interesting. They make the component of fighting them interesting, which is a very different thing. Like, the newest Call of Duty has made shooting a lot more interesting, and when you're fighting other players, obviously everyone has a different, you know, skill level, tactical, like, you know, some people know how to, like, you know, bounce a grenade off the side of a wall and hit it to another room. I do that all the time. It's fucking great. And you hold it for another minute and you kill them because you're an asshole. Or, you know, in some cases, you know, enemy, you can at least make AI sound like they know what they're talking about. Like, there's certain games that will code AI to like state like, oh, he's behind this, and they'll have like a bazillion dialogue options depending on what like piece of cover you're behind. Is the AI smarter? No, but it makes it seem smarter, which is a big difference. And even then, while I'm playing, knowing that, I'm like, oh shit, they know where I am. They acknowledge it and they say it out loud to their comrades, which then, you know, can flank or attack me. But most games, including New Vegas, not New Vegas, I'm sorry, 76, really almost all Fallout games, outside of the occasional, they'll actually like take cover behind a piece of wood or something. And they'll pick up like a dead comrade's weapon, which, I mean, for Fallout's sake, is not really doing much. That's more of, one, you just code it to pick up a tactically better weapon, which, mathematically wise, I can't even imagine being too difficult to do, to be frank. And then, you know, have it take cover is just recognizing things of a certain height. But even then, you know, it's like, if your weapon's better, it doesn't fucking... Oh. It doesn't even really matter. Like, I don't know, like, if you make the shooting interesting, the AI doesn't have to be too smart or seem too smart. But, yes, Fallout 4 and Fallout 76 have the best gunplay in the Fallout, like, franchise, or whatever. Oh, gotta get fucking lymphoma. Oh, I have to talk to a fucking robot. How do I get this quest out of here? I regret this heavily. What I just did. Okay, this one actually sounds fun. Fuck this. Fuck this robot. I hate the robot so fucking much. But, no, there's the guy with the comb over. Or the attempt of a comb over. No, but AI is just... If you don't make your shooting good, you have to make your AI good. Which they don't really do. Because... outside of, like, maybe enemies are in, like, extra armor, it is really just based on level, which is the most boring like way to make combat more interesting. Because then it just feels too gamey, and if you're making a game meant to be role played, you don't want to make it feel too gamey. If that makes sense. You want it to feel as close to reality without being too painful. You don't want like DayZ level, where like you'll search like 20 houses and never find a gun or like a can of food, or you'll find like 8 things of stupid T-shirts you can't even use, except for no rags. But you don't have a knife, so fuck you. Okay. Okay. Ah. See if I... See, yes. Oh, gee. Oh, gee. Fuck. It's, you know. It's, you gotta fight off 5 ghouls. But then, the game never feels like you're in Apocalypse. It feels like you're kind of just some asshole who's doing better than everybody else consistently. Like, you're never, like, really thirsty, really hungry, or all your guns don't jam, they just break. Which gun jamming mechanics should really be in games more, especially this setting. Like, Far Cry 2 was great because of it. And 3 New Vegas kind of did it. But your jamming system was, like, literally, like, you would have, say, a gun, and, like, you just kind of, that was it. And, like, very annoying. I found like Athens got me like really like irritated. Like yesterday, not yesterday, the day before yesterday, I was like losing my mind. I was playing with some people. Eviction notice. Okay, so they were being assholes because you know, like every frat where I have little respect to most frat members. For the most part. Okay, so we have to find the nice some type of question. Let's see what the cargoes are drinking. I know it's probably downstairs, but I'm gonna check upstairs because I feel like there's important shit up here, like shitty beer. Oh god. Yeah, I'm not opening that up. Oh. Fuck off. Okay. Could you please nail down the plans for transferring Nuka-Shan to Pie House for the party? Lewis won't speak another word to me until I've scheduled a date, and he's the only one with the formula. By the way, that joke that Pie Muse were circulating about him got back to us. Not funny. His Nuka-Shan is going to make your eviction party the event of the year. So no more cheap jokes at expense, okay? Judy Lowell. Ida Sai, chapter president. Drink a bottle of Nuka-Shine. Also, if you have me on like Discord or any other site and the chat isn't working, please let me know, because I can always just restart it and see if it, you know, fixes itself. Because you have a slightly bad connection, it just chances it doesn't work. If it is working, you're not talking fair enough. But if it isn't, just shoot me a message or something like a DM where I'll see the notification. Anyways. Okay. Experience the effects of Nuka Shine. I don't know about you, but I've had moonshine, both the ones you could buy at the bar, not a bar, liquor store, and other ones made privately, not for sale, of course. You know, I've never. Okay, sloshing sound. I can kind of see in movies and games. They kind of have to recreate the visual equivalent of feeling drunk or high or what have you. Because obviously drugs don't make you see fucking different colors. Well, actually they do. Well, kind of. But, let's play this. While high. Oh, never mind. I don't know why I thought it was something else. But, hey buddy. Hey buddy. Where? Oh. I'm very satisfying getting one-hit kills in this game. Most games should realize getting one-hit kills is more interesting than dumping about 18 fucking magazines into a guy. But yeah, no, some games and other media will try to have to recreate the equivalent of how being drunk or high feels, because obviously you can't make someone feel drunk while watching. Well, you kind of can, but depending on the movie or game or what have you. Like, you know, that wavy kind of things, like the disorientation, colors is kind of like, yeah, okay, maybe not the colors part so much, unless you're doing like fucking acid or some shit. Okay, I'm gonna restart this thing real quick because the chat's not working, so 1 second.